Howdy folks, I'm back again here in Gulf of Gunthak, and I wanted to kind of do something different. Had a discussion with some friends of mine online about how fast it would take to you could earn 1,000 plat in cash, not selling items and getting the 1,000, but just strictly in cash. And I'm going to make a few videos. It might take, say, 5 minutes in one and 20 minutes in another. I'm not going to make force somebody to watch an entire video like that, but I am going to go ahead and do it, and then I'll edit it down so it's actually a watchable video. So you kind of get the information and any observations that I make. I am using a water pet. I'm a level 92 magician. I've got my standard pet buffs, and then my pet still has some of the buffs from my healing mercenary that it cast on it. It wouldn't matter, even unbuffed, my pet can mow down everything in this zone. But like I say, this is the challenge to see how much money I can make. There's a few classes. Obviously, the pet classes have an advantage, and casters on top of that in farming, whether it's for money or for trade skill items or whatnot. So anyway, go ahead and give this a shot and go ahead and start. Everything in here is basically kill on sight, and whether or not I tell my pet to kill it, most of the stuff will just go ahead and attack. So I'm going to start here at the beach in Gulf of Gunthak, which tend to be the lower, some of the lowest level NPCs, mobs for this zone. And there's a few animals mixed in, and they do not drop platinum. They'll still attack me. I might get some loot at them or something. Just a few seconds to get some of them out of the way here. Even if my bags fill up for some reason, I am not going to stop. I'm going to strictly go for 1,000 plat. Now, obviously, I can look over here to my right of my inventory screen. I'm already up to 11 plat, plus a whole bunch of gold and silver, copper. I'm not going to worry so much about trying to add it. It's the plat and the gold. As long as I get pretty close to 1,000, that'll be the cutoff point as far as time. I'm going to clear this beach as fast as possible here, and then I will go into the tunnels, and the next place I will go to is the fort. This is one of my favorite zones, probably top 10 in the game, because quite a large zone. There is, what would you call it, mini zones, sub-zones, whatever the proper term is. And they have their own characteristics. Some of them even have quests that they're involved with. And what was great when I was leveling up the appropriate levels for these zones, high 20s into the 30s, 40s, and you can still get EXP into the 50s. Of course, it'd be like light blue or green, but you could spend a lot of time here, and it was well worth it. The money was incredible. Suddenly I had enough money I could afford to buy anything in the bazaar. auction house, whatever. From merchants, I could buy trade skill items that I could never get on my own. So that was pretty sweet. But the EXP was just great because there were so many mobs, and you could tailor exactly what you wanted to kill. So in other words, okay, obviously a dark blue mob gives more EXP than light blue, but if you can kill 4 light blues in the time it takes you to kill a dark blue, it's silly to keep doing that unless you have a specific reason to kill that specific mob, and it's not just for EXP. And as a magician, I can mow down light blues basically just on my pet. I don't even really have to help him much, other than, for example, the fire barrier damage shield. So that when anything, hits it, it takes a little damage. That really helps speed the killing process along. And that way I was able to conserve my mana so that if I ever got overwhelmed by, say, a roaming mob or something, I could I could help my pet out and keep him alive. I could burn something down pretty quick and not worry about how much mana I used. So, okay. Almost every single one of these little buildings has at least one pirate. Some have 2 or 3 even. And they're all full of cash. Let's do it never on that one, and always on that one. Occasionally, you can get a nice little random loot drop in here that I can sell in the bazaar on my merchant. And there's some charms also in this little fort area that drop off these mobs. I hope the sound of the money being looted is not too loud. I'm still experimenting with sound volumes and things like that as I make these videos. I am by no means an expert and will not try and claim to be when it comes to this stuff, but I am learning. What are we up to? 150 plat or so. Not adding up quite as fast as I thought it would. It's possible they nerfed some of this stuff, because this used to be a cash cow for me. And I hope the first person view of this doesn't bother you too much. It's just what I've always preferred when playing this game. I know it might be more visually aesthetic for you to see it like this, but that drives me nuts. I can't get the proportions down correctly when I'm running at full speed. And it's just my little habit. Okay, almost back to the front here again. And I think we are. Okay. I'm going to go to the fort entrance again where the 2 trolls stood guard. And Maybe I can go ahead and do a little bit of a third person in here. There's not so many objects in the way. Sometimes you can luck out and get named when you do what I'm doing. And get those rare drops. Now, they're not very good as far as armor. They don't always have the greatest stats. But yeah, I pulled him over. Okay, I keep getting this one. This is a random drop from this area. Matted fur cloak. It's just not very good, especially for the level of mobs. Armor class 5, a little bit of hit points and stuff. It's got several +5 save versus all the magics and diseases and all that kind of stuff. But it's very sad. But what you can do with it is turn it in for tribute, and it gives you several hundred, if I remember right. It's one of those things that people will happily buy for 50 plat or something and turn in as tribute. Well worth it. What are we up to? Well, we're over 200, heading for 250. I'm not going to go down that little tunnel. There's not much in there that actually has cash, and that's what we're after for this experiment. Let me check my bags real quick. About half full. Doing pretty good. I can just look at it. Most of that's trade skill items, but I can see about another 300 plat at least in items for the bazaar. I can sell on my merchant. Here we go. Here's a guys out here. What do we got here? Something I've never managed to loot in all these years. I actually did get a nice charm here the other day that I had never seen before. At least I think it was from this little area. It was mammoth tusk powder. Something like that. Anyway, it had pretty good stats on it for a charm. It was not as powerful, obviously, as what I have currently, but I think I sold it for 1,000 plat. It sold quickly, which surprised me, but very pleasant surprise. What are we up to? Coming up on 300. Yeah, 300 plat. And I still haven't gone inside the fort yet. I'm just noticing that they have nerfed the average amount of money that's dropped. here in little piggies. Sometimes there's a named boar in there that will drop a nice item. Okay, let's go finish up these little houses over here. Sometimes there's a name that spawns over here with these luggles. I'm going to pop out my little Tellurian bodyguard. Okay, get these two that guard the entrance to the next zone there. And now I'm going to make a beeline for the fort. Okay. Check my bags. Getting there. Some very nice items. I'll drop out a couple of these runes though, because I no longer use them for research, and they're basically worth a plat or two. Can't remember if it was wizards that used them most or not. Okay. Did that first wing right there. This is the main entrance to this castle area here ahead of me. I just took the right wing first. A little bit more efficient way to clear out this entire area. You'll notice that they've spaced these mobs apart. So once you get to the point where you are, this stuff is like, light blue or whatever. If you're a pet class, if you're soloing, or maybe it's just a pair of you and a buddy, you can easily take these things on and don't have to worry about getting ganged up on. And one of the nice things about this zone is there, here in the castle, there's a quick zone out. And we'll get to the main throne area here in a little bit, but that's where it's at. And so you don't have to go all the way back to the lighthouse. Okay, I've cleared that out. And now I'll go to the throne room. These luggles don't have any cash, but they do have trade skill items occasionally, so they're just kind of a necessary evil. Have to get through the trolls and the other human-like races that have the money. Well, that's it, folks. I have cleared this zone. It's just a matter of my little buddy finishing them off. So, that's it. Close to 900 there, close to 400 there. So 5, yeah, just a little over quick mass. 2 plus 2 is 4, 4 minus 1 is 3. Quick mass is about 500 plat. So in the time it took me to do that, just double it. You got to wait for everything to respawn, obviously. Double it, and there's 1,000 plat. So my next one I'm going to try is the next zone over with the ships and everything. And then after that I'm going to go to Nadox. So alright, that's it for this one. I'll make some other comparison videos here in just a little bit. Thanks for watching.